I had a couple of questions that people had asked about, um, you know, my own experience with the whole COVID situation. Um, and when I've been asymptomatic, even though I have had experiences where I've felt the virus load go up, and one of the questions was, how do you know that that is happening? For me, I would feel like a claws just come and caught me in my throat. But my oxygen readings and stuff would be fine. There would be no temperature or anything like that. And I would often just have a cup of hot water with lemon in it. And I've made a concoction with turmeric, ginger, black pepper, cumin, cinnamon stick, cloves, and cardamom in it. And that concoction is something that I have as hot as I can have it. So I've been having that 2 or 3 times a day. Definitely doing steaming, where I'm just breathing in and out of the nose. Steam is being taken. And I've, so far there's been no loss of smell, no loss of taste or anything like that. And I am on my 14th day. So, it's been 14 days since I was diagnosed. So clearly it was there a few days prior to that, but certainly 14 days since the diagnosis was done. How would I know that the virus is gone? I mean, I wouldn't, I just feel that it's whatever it is, it's either just got integrated in me or it's gone. The key thing I would say is fear. It's just not engaging with fear, and rather than yes, when the virus load was increasing, I was becoming very aware of that I am by myself in the house, and it wasn't the most sensible thing to have nobody here at all observing my symptoms. And I could easily have gone down the fear track, but that is a point where I would connect to my heart is beating. That is the song of the heart. So it is singing because there's a miracle here. What's the miracle? So I was vigilant, and I have been vigilant throughout. And I have been following very high immune boosting diet. I've just added a few elixir drinks that I've created myself by tuning in, and some that are recommended by Ayurvedic practitioners. But I would use the miracle lens. I have used the miracle lens a lot, really looking at whatever is going on, what is my miracle lens showing me? Because fear is the one that, the negative connotation of fear depletes your immunity very rapidly. And there is so much of it out there right now. And, some of you who've been listening to me on my Thursday evening calls have heard me say, and certainly those of you who are in the business collective or in the journey into miracles, you've heard me say that the multiplier effect of 2020 is 100x now. So whatever it is that you are experiencing gets multiplied very fast. So I'm vigilant about that. It's really got me to be vigilant in a full spectrum way. I've got to understand the difference between emotional well-being and mental well-being. They sort of morphed up together. I've become very aware of full spectrum is a combination of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental. Become very aware of that. We got the news today that I was excited, in 2 days I'm going to be off my lockdown and quarantine, and that would be it just felt good, And I got a phone call this evening that they have actually, the municipal corporation has sealed our entire building because there have been 10 COVID cases, 6 of them from one family. So we are all quarantined for 14 days, and all the lifts, we have 6 lift shafts in our building. All of them are sealed. There is only one service lift that is operated by those people who will be delivering goods to us in our apartments. And there's a particular deck where they leave the goods for us. So we are taken care of in terms of, supplies can be bought as long as, we are able to order and have the money to purchase them. So that is happening. But it's like, we are in the middle of doing this series on the 10 commandments of the new world. And, the commandments are unknown is the known, uncertainty is certain, change is constant, and I take nothing for granted is the modus operandi. So we'll see what emerges. And in moments like this, it's so easy to go down the track of feeling confined or feeling frustrated or feeling fed up, and I'm just having a fabulous time being with all of you, at least 3 times a week and, 4 times a week. So it's pretty powerful. So I would say, whether or not you have any symptoms, the first thing is just know if your heart is beating, that is the song of the heart. And a miracle is where something beautiful occurs that makes your heart sing. So just get very accustomed to your own miracle lens and look through that miracle lens as often as you can. It'll keep you in your center, it'll keep you uplifted, and it'll keep you energized. I have noticed that I was doing an hour and a half of walking every day, even though we couldn't leave the apartment. My apartment has got enough space that I could walk backwards and forwards, playing some music or something on YouTube and just walking. And I was able to do an hour and a half. The last couple of days, I've just not wanted to do it. I always measure my oxygen. I always measure whether I'm going breathless, and I haven't gone breathless at all. But I've been doing it 20 minutes and then taking a few minutes gap and then another 20 minutes, but just really got into a space of allowing. This is the other gift of learning from this whole COVID phenomenon, truly getting into a space of allowing. So whatever goes, I've developed a wonderful partnership with my physical body. I didn't realize that, even though I talked about it, there are so many layers to this partnership. The body is this human form is such an amazing partner to my soul expression. And that is true for everyone. It goes into that yummy, yucky state to give us an indicator very earlier on. And then it's up to us whether we wish to carry on, even though there's a little bit of yuckiness there. I don't now. And I don't have to. And I'm able to just really release the have to, should do, need to, anything. And I was someone who was like, I wasn't that interested in any of my readings, like blood sugar, blood pressure. I was just like not interested in any of that. And lo and behold, I'm doing it 3 times a day. And even if I don't do it, it's sure enough, my sister and Gaurav and my son, they're all really interested to know. But the municipal corporation, they just like ring you 3 times a day. They want to know what's going on. So unfortunately, it's so interesting. How when you allow and you follow your intuitive guidance and just follow it through, I was guided a few weeks prior to all of this occurring that I should go and order a blood pressure machine and an oximeter and a thermometer. I mean, I didn't have these kind of things, didn't believe in them and stuff. And because I was guided, I go ahead and order it, didn't use it. They actually are still in their boxes. I remove them from my box every time I do the readings. So, it's an opportunity for all of us to really remain connected to what's coming through and know that, you are your best guide. You are your best teacher. All the wisdom that you require to conduct yourself in this lifetime is already there, and it actually is held in the gut. And here we are, even though we've done a cursory body of work on the gut. Now we are going into this at a level of depth because it is the steward of our wisdom. So having said all of that, now let's focus on our gut. So last time we lined the gut with a whole collection of lights and different pieces of work have occurred for different individuals that are here in this gathering. Today, the focus is on that section where the small intestine connects to the large intestine. And so what occurs is the digestion, which takes in what is ingested and breaks it up into nutrients and gets the nutrients ready for absorption. All of that occurs in the small intestine. The breakdown of ingredients that have been consumed occurs in the stomach area. The stomach cannot digest all types of foods. It uses acid to break down stuff. So it's really important that whatever you put into the stomach, it's broken down enough, hence that whole phrase that some of you might have heard me say, and it is in mine. I've learned it from someone who supported me with organ cleansing some time ago. And she would often say that, swallow your solids and chew your liquids. So it's like get your solids to get to a point where they become liquid in your mouth and you swallow them. And when you have liquids, then, get that chewing action going even with the liquid in the mouth so that the pancreas continue to release the digestive enzymes. Sometimes people go into, cooked food, you need digestive enzymes, you don't have enough. Well, that's only because we haven't exercised the ability of the pancreas to release the digestive enzyme. We have them, and pancreas is an organ it's a very resilient organ. It's one that takes a long time and does very rarely reconstruct itself fully. But if it is damaged, it takes a long time to reconstruct. And it also takes a long time to be damaged fully. It becomes lethargic, yes. But it releases at least 235 digestive enzymes. And the release of that occurs through the chewing action in the mouth. So when you swallow your solids, having chewed them, your stomach, the acid will break it down in such a way that the small intestine then can start separating the nutrients from that which requires excretion. If it is in the form of pieces, then some of the pieces can be broken down by acid. Remember, you only have teeth in your mouth. You don't have them anywhere else. So the stomach breakdown occurs through the release of acid. And specifically for those of us who eat vegetarian food, like rice and things like that, which carbohydrates, grass-type carbohydrates, are often digested in the mouth through the pancreatic juices, and they require chewing. However, if you just look at how you eat rice or how you eat bread, do you actually swallow it enough until it becomes like a soup in your mouth before you swallow it? We often don't. So they go in undigested. So the digestion has to be completed in the mouth for those foods. They go in undigested. When they go in undigested, the stomach is pumps in more and more acid to break it down, but it can't. So you have these little pieces of rice and other stuff that hasn't been broken down by the acid that goes into the small intestine. The small intestine has this very fine hair called villi, which actually move the food and also does the separation of nutrients that can be absorbed from excrement that is going to take place. So that separation is like anchored in the small intestine, and then it connects to the large intestine. The large intestine is the organ where the absorption takes place, where the excretion takes place. So what happens in that area where the small intestine connects to the large intestine, it literally it's like a hose of food that is nutrient rich and also elimination, rich in those things that require to be eliminated. So that region where the small intestine connects to the large intestine, parasites, the environment in the small intestine is alkaline, so parasites can't exist there. It's a large intestine, which is an acidic environment, where parasites can exist. And a lot of them then gather around that region where the small intestine joins the large intestine. And the parasites feed on the nutrients. So even before we get nutrients in the rest of the intestine, they just have taken that nutrient out. So what we're left is with excrement. And sometimes the collection of parasites themselves is so large that it creates a heaviness in that region, and that region starts to get deformed. And because the nutrients are extracted out, more and more excrement starts to gather there, and it starts to deform it even more. That puts pressure on the nerves, puts pressure on the pelvic, puts pressure on the, sometimes the sciatica nerve issue is often a colon issue, not necessarily a nerve issue. So the work that we are doing today is going to bring about a cleansing of that region using your own internal water to bring that about. We will also apply the human vibe attunement to it. And what that would do is it would uplevel the vibration of that region to such an extent that any energy or entities, which are parasites or entities, that have got a lower vibration will automatically start to be released. And because they're already in the colon and we've already prepared the colon for the work that we're doing, as the release of these entities takes place, then the debris that's left behind can be excreted out of the colon. And that is what we are going to be working on. Today, it is literally the allowing your colon to actually receive the full spectrum of nutrients and a very clear demarcation of that which requires to be excreted. And that happens from the small intestine to the large intestine. I'm not a medical practitioner. A lot of my wisdom is stuff that just chooses to come through. And some of it has come from past experiences of going on lots and lots and lots of detoxes. But the finesse, the energetic finesse of what is going on in different organs, what their innate abilities are, what their originating intent, all of that is downloaded stuff. So, you work with it as your intuition guides you to. And if you have a condition that requires medical attention, please go ahead and get that medical attention. All of this will support whatever medical process that you may be engaged in. And the stronger your organs become, the easier it is for any medication to actually be more impactful. What we can do, and I do it often, if anyone has to be on medication or I need to take medication for anything, I always protect myself from the damaging effects and only allow whatever the benefits are of that medication to take effect. The health of the colon is an important aspect of it. So we will all be able to achieve that for ourselves. So having said that, if you just get comfortable, sitting upright is great. Feet are on the floor. The base of your spine is connected to the core of the earth. The middle of your feet are connected to the core of the earth. Hands are dropped down to your side, palms facing forward, fingers slightly stretched. Imagine that all of those are connected to the core of the earth through golden cords. This time I'm seeing there is an alloy that has been created, which is a combination of gold, bronze, and copper. combined together. So we have the pure energy of gold and this alloy that is combining gold, bronze, and copper, that is making up this golden cord. And this golden cord is connected to the core of the earth. Tips of your fingers are extending out and connecting to the core of the earth. The middle of your feet are connecting to the core of the earth. Now you can put your hands on your thighs and have them facing upwards, palms facing upwards. In the middle of your left palm is the presence of a sparkling, I'm being told, they're calling it the ruby diamond. It actually is ruby, except it's cut in the form of a diamond. It's a princess cut, I'm being told. So it has a very particular way in which it is releasing its light. In the middle of your right hand is the presence of the lingam, which is a stone that comes from the bed of river Narmada. It's one of the major rivers in India. And you can get the lingam in any crystal shop. It brings about a state of peace, but it is so strong that it brings you into such a deep state of peace. And in that state, it up-levels your vibration so high that that which is not attuned with your own unique vibrational frequency automatically is destroyed. So it's very powerful to have that stone in your hand. You're going to start scanning your body, and you will start scanning your body. Let's begin. The front of your forehead, the back of your head, the front of your nose, the back of your head. And remember, when I'm drawing this circle, you just scan. You know, draw another circle, you just scan through. The front of your chin, the back of your neck. The front of your neck, the base of your neck. Scan all the way through. The top of your shoulders in the front, the top of your shoulders in the back. The front of your chest, the back of your chest. Underneath your armpits, the front of your waist, the back of your middle back. The front of your abdomen, the back of your lower back. The front of your pelvic, the back of your buttocks, the hips, the top of your thighs, the base of your thighs, the front of your knees, the back of your knees, the front of your shin, the back of your calf muscles and everything in between, the top of your ankle, the base of your heel, the top of your feet, the base of your feet, the top of your toes, the base of your toes, the tips of your toes. You're going to go to the top of your biceps and scan all the way down to the tips of your fingers and release. Big exhale. You'll notice a beautiful release of all of your different systems. Any energies that are in excess, any energies that are no longer serving you, they are being released. Now I invite you to give your cells an additional permission to release anything that is not in service of your highest good. Energetic or entity-wise, anything at all that might have chosen to harbor itself within you that is not in service of your highest good, you're releasing that. You're giving permission for that to be released. Let's get into the alignment breath, and we are focusing our intention very specifically on this alignment breath to open up all of the 13 chakras. So let's begin. Breathe into the count of 9, hold to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 6. Breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm inviting you to take your deep breaths now. You're going to breathe in through your nose and imagine that that breath is going down the back of your spine, vertebra by vertebra, all the way down to your tailbone. And when you breathe out, you're breathing out from your heart. So you're imagining as if the breath out from the tail all the way comes up and your breath out is happening through your heart. So when you're breathing in, you're going down your spine, vertebra by vertebra. You're breathing in love, kindness, and compassion all the way down to your tailbone. And then you breathe out gratitude and peace. So breathe in all the way down to your tailbone. Breathe out from your heart. And the deeper your breath, you will hear some crackling in your ears. And actually, as you hear the crackling in your ears, there are some very fine hair in the middle ear. And it is that causes a hearing problem more than the eardrum. Eardrum is a very last resort. But when those hair are moving perfectly, there isn't anything clogging it, your hearing starts to return to normal. Each of those hairs are connected to the villi in your small intestine. So as you're taking that deep breath in, and the breath is going down your vertebra, all the way down to your tailbone, and you're breathing out through and breath is in and out through your nose, and you're breathing out from your heart. The physiological act of the breath is in and out through your nose. Your visualization of the travel of your breath is what is taking place, where you're breathing in, going down vertebra by vertebra, all the way down to your tailbone, and then you breathe out, coming out of your heart. And when you do that, you may hear some interesting crackling in your ears. And every time there's a crackling in your ear, there is actually some movement that is happening in your small intestine that is dislodging stuff, food stuff that is not digested, that may be stuck in between the villi and preventing the villi from moving more comfortably. And every time that occurs, flow returns. So we're using the water within your body to support the flow so that it starts pushing down and starts going towards where the small intestine is connecting to the large intestine. We want to increase the ability of your small intestine to be able to break down the food in the way it is designed to, so that there is greater amount of absorption and absorbable nutrients that are released. And there is a clearer demarcation of that, which requires to be excreted, and the excrement is also softened so it doesn't line up the wall of the colon. So just continue that breathing in love, kindness, and compassion all the way down to your tailbone, and breathing out from your heart. If you feel like yawning, it's fine. There's a big, massive movement of energy that is taking place. That region of the tailbone where your base chakra is also very closely connected to that region which provides, which creates, which births life force in your cells. So it's a little bit like we've lit the spark now. So the energetics of the energetic frequency of the cells of your small intestine is now in attunement. And there is greater movement that is now starting to take place. As stuff that is undigested, little specks and bits and pieces, they are literally being broken down just by the energetic frequency. The small intestine is only performing the function of moving them through. And as that is occurring, we are focusing our attention in that region of the colon where the small intestine dumps the food. And what we are doing there is like really creating a gush of internal movement of your own water. And I am infusing into that water. It's originating intent memory of being a carrier of the seed of life. So it's as if I've dropped an elixir of this miracle water into your field, and your own water is now being deprogrammed to become a carrier of the seed of life. And with that, there's a very specific rhythm with which that water is being released into your large intestine. That is a region that is just before it becomes the ascended colon. We are focusing on that region, which is prior to the ascending colon. So it will not disturb you with excessive peristalsis. It is literally just breaking down the stuff that is there, that is held for a long time. Some of you will notice a release of pressure from your back. Some of you may have experienced lower back pains and stuff, which actually were not spine related, but were related to this. The pressure of the colon against certain nerves. So you might start experiencing a little bit of shift in that. It'll take a few days for that breakdown to continue. My job in this session is to bring about that memory back into the organ and then to up-level its vibrational frequency. So any low vibrational frequencies do not cause any disruption, and over the next few days, with that higher attunement frequency lodged in that section of the organ starts to recalibrate itself and does so gently. Remember, those of you who've done my work know my mantra is ease, joy, and grace. Colon is a very big repository of rejoicing vibe. The vibrational frequency of the colon is rejoicing. Okay, what we've done now is got that process going. Your colon is still lined with a very specific light. Those lights that are going to break down and release impacted fecal matter are there in your colon still from what we did last time. They will be applied to this particular region so that the colon can reform itself into the shape that it is meant to. You may need to be aware of any center of gravity shifts that might have occurred in your body as you might have compensated with the way you walk because of the pressure in that part of the body. So just be very, very watchful of returning to your original center of gravity over the next few days. Okay. We're going to go into the human vibe attunement now. And as we do that, we are literally like releasing the souls of these parasites and any other bacterial stuff that may be there. The fungi is a very interesting entity that we also have. And there are certain fungi like Candida, and there are a few others that are of a very low vibrational frequency. So those fungi will become disabled. As we continue the work on the gut, the fungi, those fungi will be released, but they will get disabled. There are other fungi that are there which have a high vibrational frequency and are actually not necessarily good for our body. The terrain itself, as the gut transforms, the terrain will become uncomfortable. And that is what will disintegrate them. Right now, even getting the fungi that has got a lower vibrational frequency to become disabled will be a huge, huge benefit. I'm not keeping track of the time, so if you feel that you need to leave at a particular time, you just quietly leave the meeting. I'm going to continue this work until it is done because we are in the middle of this process here. Okay, so we're going to use a human vibe attunement now to up-level our vibration. Our focus is on that particular part of the intestine. So you will notice and you may feel the feelings experienced by these entities as they depart. So there may be a feeling of an arising of certain emotions, and they are not yours. They are just of these parasites that are actually departing. They will be converted into debris, and the debris will then be released. So let's begin. Repeat after me and speak out loud so that it has an even stronger vibrational effect. If you can't make a sound, at least whisper with your tongue touching the different parts of your mouth. That would be great. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Just being silent for a bit to experience that up-leveling and the release of entities that have got lower vibrational frequency in that region, which includes all of the parasites as well as bacteria. Okay, we'll continue. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Take your right hand and just put it in the region of just below your the right hand side of your abdomen. Just place your right hand there and take your left hand and just put it on top of your navel. Just repeat after me. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Once more, I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Just take your hand, keep touching your ascended colon and bring it on top of your left hand, which is on top of your navel. You're going to leave your right hand there and move your left hand up from the center of your body and bring it all the way to your heart. What we've just done is we've anchored your identity without these external entities of parasites and bacteria that you may be harboring for years. You're just coming home to you in the highest vibe of you. It's nothing to be fearful of. You're activating your own internal light body right now. Light body activation reduces the amount of hours you require sleep. So it may feel like insomnia for a bit, and it isn't. Okay, take your hands in front of your throat, rub them against each other. Put them over your eyes. Take them on top of your head, back of your neck, down your shoulders, and do an energy sweep and blow. So the human vibe attunement session itself is complete. If you need to leave, please go ahead and leave. And if you would like to just share and anchor, one word, one sentence, whatever you're drawn to in the chat of whatever you're present to, that would be really great. Ready for an amazing day of peace, unusual experience. Thank you, love, lingam stones, indeed. Self-love, magnificence, unlimited, expanded. Very cool and calm feeling. Love you, so soothing. Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, Sarah. Your compassion, is, oh, okay, several. The compassion is infinite. I feel it. Yes, it is. Each one of us has that too. Peace and relaxation, gratitude and peace, filled with love, balanced and attuned, calming and cleansing, deeply home. Thank you. Lots of gurgling. Free, yes. Relaxed, filled with gratitude and peace. Love the purple today, yes. Our colors, Lee, purple and violet. Sacred alliance, gratitude, indeed, gratitude. And feeling strong, aligned and whole, harmonized and heightened, enlivened, calmness and gratitude. Cleansed and purified, thank you, being blessed, deepening, full spectrum health. Thank you. And thank you all for celebrating getting my bus pass year. Thank you so much. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your recordings. Thank you for great, I just had an amazing birthday celebration, just receiving all of those messages. How amazing, deeply blessed. And at some point I will share the journey that I was on for 3 days. It was quite an eye-opener. Thank you so much. It's always difficult to end these meetings and we have to complete it now. So thank you. Thank you.